Well, let's go to a very special treat for you now. We've just covered the Indian elections and we're now going to some Indian music here on Impact. It's not often we have a real-life prince on set, and he's not just royalty but musically renowned around the world. Prince Rama Varma is a master of Carnatic music, a classical music style from southern India. And after almost 15 years, the maestro of the Saraswati Veena is back in London to perform a one-off concert on Friday evening. He'll be performing alongside Jyotsna Srikanth, one of the world's most sought-after South Indian violinists. I'm joined now by both of these masters of Carnatic music in the studio. Thank you both for joining us here on Impact. I'll start with you, Prince Varma. After 15 years, you've come back to London. What's brought you back?
Dr. Jyotsna brought me back because 15 years ago, I had brought her to London for a concert in the Southbank Centre. Now she's living in London and she organizes this music festival and thought of returning the favor properly. And
you have a connection with London. You come here so often.
I used to when I was younger. Now my work keeps me mostly in South India. So as a young person, I've come here a lot.
And as I said in our intro, you yourself are a master of music, and especially Carnatic music. Tell us what makes it so special.
Carnatic music is the traditional form of South India, and the music has a proper balance of both lyrics, compositions and improvisations. I thought that this system of music is less represented in UK, and I started Dhruv Arts and London International Arts Festival, which we produce every year. And this is the first time that we are doing a one-off concert presenting Carnatic music at the Southbank Centre. So I could not think of anyone else who is a singer, good singer, and also a good orator. So we brought in Prince Rama Varma for this concert.
And you have, performed in about 200 Indian films. Yeah. What makes working with the Prince so special?
Prince is a spontaneous musician, and when you perform for and you play for films, that's different. It's set kind of music. Of course, I do enjoy performing and playing for films and the contemporary music, but Carnatic music has that flavor, that improvisational capacities of a musician is brought forth very much. And of course, I have been performing with the Prince, and I like his style of singing, and I do enjoy performing with him.
Prince Varma, you broke a 300-year tradition by allowing women to perform at a festival that you organise. Yes. Tell us a little bit about that and why you chose to do that.
It's celebrated all over India. It's called Puja, Durga Puja in some places, Navaratri in some places. It happens in September, October, and the entire festival is dedicated to a Hindu goddess. And I could never understand why a festival which is dedicated to a female deity was not allowing women either as performers or even as listeners inside. So I used to question this from the time I became interested in music as a teenager, and nobody really had a clear answer except that that is how it is tradition. So I just kept fighting it for 22 years till the rule got changed.
You are very revolutionary in your thinking, because even as an Indian royal, I mean, throughout Indian culture and history and tradition, the royals would generally enjoy music rather than be a part of it. That's changed as well with you being involved.
Well, maybe that's part of my being revolutionary. I don't see myself as a royal at all, because the whole royal thing was finished in 1947. Which was 20 years before I was born. But some people still cling on to some image of royalty, but I see myself as a musician.
But you live in a palace.
Well, that is a palace because the gentleman who was the last Maharaja of my kingdom, Travancore, he lived there till he passed away in 1991. So the presence of a real, true blue Maharaja made it a palace. Otherwise, it's just a big house.
And Jyotsna, I grew, when I was a child, I played the violin, but I play it, holding it up, and it's quite different to the way you play it. You've changed that a lot, haven't you? The way you've sort of almost made it Eastern.
Yes, the violin is basically a European Western instrument, and it had to travel from the West to the East to acquire the present form of Indian classical violin playing. And for that, we had to make some changes from the tuning of the violin, and then to the position where we squat down and position the violin between the collarbone and the ankle. But today I will be placing the violin in the performance in the Western style for the studios.
Well, in just a moment we'll have the pleasure of hearing you perform here for us on Impact. So I won't let you go anywhere, but we'll go to another story now, and this time it's about, we've just heard about India's rich cultural heritage, that's, Carnatic music, but let's tell you about another type of Indian music, and that's Bollywood.